What can you tell us about your husband?
My husband, he was a very kind, gentle man. He was a general surgeon. He spent the majority of his life saving lives. So opposite from this woman who left my husband to die on the pavement. My husband would have stopped and rendered aid. My husband and I were married here at San Fernando Cathedral 27 years ago, and to think, who would have thought that now across the street I'm spending time in a courthouse dealing with this? It's been more than 2 years since my husband was killed by an alleged drunk driver, and we're here hoping that the trial will finally get started. We've been waiting a long time for justice. For the last 2 years, I've had people who assume that the woman who killed my husband and left him for dead on a pavement is serving time, and the trial hasn't even started. I think most people are astounded to find out that it hasn't even started, that justice has not been served or given. She's still driving, which is unbelievable to me.
She's still alive for her regular life.
Yeah, she even requested for her BMW so she could drive her BMW. I believe that driving should be a privilege, and if you kill someone and you're reckless, and especially in this case, she left the scene and she allowed my husband to die without any help, without calling 911, without stopping, that her license, her privilege for driving should be taken away. I strongly believe that. For the rest of her life. Yes, she serves time, but for the rest of her life also, she should be reminded that she killed someone.
If you want this information, just get a hold of me or Veronica or Henry. Me and Henry are also part of the board on Hill Country Ghost Bike. I'm sure that you have seen some of the photos of the white bikes with the flowers and a little bit of a memorial done. We do some of those in the area.
I personally got started with it back in 2013. A young kid was killed that I knew. Kind of rode with a few times, was hit by a hit and run driver. So once that happened, it really motivated me to figure out more about ghost bikes and try to get more awareness and get the bikes out there of all the ones that have been killed by motorists. It's really great to see everybody here and support, because we need this. We need to get our voices heard. We need to get this out to the public eye, that this is a problem, you know. We got to stop losing people. We got to stop losing our friends, you know. So thank you all for coming today and being here.
It's a very, very extremely painful process. This is my mother-in-law. I mean, we have had so many sleepless nights, so many days of depression. My husband and I were married at San Fernando 27 years ago, and never in my wildest dreams would I think that I would be crossing the street to a courthouse to advocate for his life, for all the lives that have lost. I know Tito lost his life from a drunk driver 8 weeks after my husband was killed and left for dead on a road with no one to stop, to render aid. He spent his entire life saving lives. And we never imagined that we're gonna die without our family around. Not even a last word, not even closure. We didn't have anything. And I'm sorry for your loss too. I read about your mother. It broke my heart when I saw that. I am so sorry. And you're so young to have lost your mother at such a young age, just like my son. It's going to be a lifetime of pain for you, just like it is for us. We, the victims, are the ones that suffer the sentence, not the person that's in there trying to get out scot-free or with probation. We are the ones that will suffer for the rest of our lives. Our children, your unborn children, will be the ones that will suffer because they never will have known who your mother was. What a wonderful woman. My sons, my own grandchildren will never know the wonderful man that my husband was. The loss, the pain goes on for generations. Thank you for being out here, really. It touches my heart.
They want you to get tired.
They want you to forget.
They want you to forget. They want you to move on. The courts are so early because they don't want you to show up with your sign. They don't want you to speak for somebody who can't speak anymore.
My mother-in-law misses her son. The entire medical community, cycling community is affected by the loss of my husband, and also for the other losses of lives that have followed the loss of my husband due to drunk driving. Something has to stop. These are lives that are lost. These are precious lives that are lost. For something like this, she can only get 2 to 20 years.
She has to be say all his life in the jail.
I agree. She took away. My mother-in-law is close to 90. My father-in-law was 86. My husband was in perfect health. He was a professional cyclist. He did 3 days of the Tour de France in France in 2017. He was incredibly. He was in the Olympics in 1980 for his country, Lebanon.
Yeah.
He was in perfect health. He had all the lights on his bike, on his helmet. He had a radar that would tell him if someone was a mile away. This woman crossed lanes. She took his life. He didn't even have a chance. He was a runner. He could do a 6-minute mile. He would always come in first in the half marathon, the rock and roll. My husband was incredibly healthy. He was incredibly intelligent. He was incredibly kind and loving. She took the best man that I've ever known in my life. She took him away from us. If it can happen to my husband, it can happen to anyone. And that is what the message we have to give. That you can sit behind and watch TV and watch this newscast, but guess what? It can be you tomorrow.
No justice!
No peace!
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 No justice!
No peace! Stop killing cyclists!
Stop killing cyclists!
Stop killing cyclists!
Stop killing cyclists!
Stop